a lot of talk has been going on about how 90s basketball and old school basketball is so much better than the product we have now. And the night to night product of the NBA is cooked. And that's why the ratings are down and blah, 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 blah. So I just wanted to know, Jalal, your thoughts on that entire conversation, how the NBA media covers the sport that they talk about. Just break it down for me how you feel about it.
Yeah, nostalgia is cooking us bad, man.
It's
I think
hell of a drug.
All of this discourse started around the time that the All-Star game was coming around, and everybody was like, "Oh, in the 2000 and 2001 All-Star game, like it was just so much more competitive. It was so competitive. Go look at the score of those games. They were literally doing the same thing that guys are doing now." Throwing Shaq coming down the court, doing in and out cross dribbles. The All-Star weekend was so bad that they had to cancel a dunk contest in the mid-90s because nobody was watching the dunk contest, and the participants were trash. Guys didn't know what to do. You had people randomly dunking blindfolded, people jumping over chairs and not knowing, just doing. Some dude did a layup in the dunk contest, bro. Like, even when Kobe won in 97, it was still trash. When you had guys like Brent Barry winning, no disrespect to Brent Barry, but like, come on, bro. Vince Carter saved the dunk contest. Yeah. If it wasn't for that, there may not be a dunk, because David Stern was ready to abolish the dunk contest for good. And I think there's three issues. One, people say they like basketball when they really don't. You either really, really like a player, or you like how it used to be played and you're just not open to changes. There was times in the 80s when the game just wasn't exciting. Michael Jordan is the only reason why people were watching basketball in the 90s. When he retired, the ratings shot down. He came back and everyone was like, oh my God, Michael Jordan. Like,
bro, he took 2 years off from the sport. Like,
and the ratings went
none of this
way
happened,
down. He went way down. He comes back and then he retires, and it's like the ratings go down again. Michael Jordan was the reason people were watching basketball in the 90s. But in the 90s, you couldn't play defense the way you can now. You could play zone, but you couldn't really double team because they had illegal defense. They had to change the rule of back to the basket because Charles Barkley's fat ass was for 10 seconds. And then on top of that, like, guys just weren't like,
this talent just wasn't there, bro.
It wasn't the same. But the game just wasn't that. But that's the part of evolution. Like, the game has evolved into something where everybody can do the basic things that every basketball player needs to do. Your 10th man off the bench can get you 10 if he gets hot.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's all nostalgia, bro. It is because our media is primarily run by guys in their 40s and 50s,
and some of them are former NBA players that played in the 90s and 2000s.
And when Michael Jordan and them was playing, they was 19, 16, 15, 14. That's their childhood. But we look back on our 14, 15s, you was just happier. So of course you remember that as, oh shit, basketball must have been better back then. When in reality, it was not. Like, it was right now.
Yeah, it just wasn't. And that's no knock to like the basketball that was being played back then. That's just how things, like, no one in the NFL has ever said, oh man, I miss when Barry Sanders was out there juking and jiving. Like, bro, it's just the game has changed for the better. They've moved it towards a more offensive heavy system where you protect your quarterback, and the ratings keep going up. For whatever reason in the NBA, the legends of the NBA shit on the product that's current day. I remember when LeBron was coming up and they won their first championship. Everybody's like, oh yeah, good job, LeBron. Guess what? You still ain't Jordan. Then he won the second one. They're like, oh man, most people don't win back to back, but guess what? You can't three-peat. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like,
bro, the entire discourse is crazy. I think night to night basis, if you like basketball, you can tune into any game and see a good basketball player. A basketball player that on every team, you go look at the Jazz, Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, good basketball players. You want to watch John Collins, you want to watch the Wizards, Jordan Poole. Say what you want about him. He's an entertaining basketball player. Like, he is.
Yeah,
you want to,
I'm
like,
glad you didn't say good.
No, he's an entertaining basketball player. Like, I was looking at it, bro. In 1998, 18 players average 20 or more points per game. This season, 36 players do. Exactly double the amount. In 1998,
games were ending with teams scoring 50 and 60 points.
There's no way you're telling me more
in 4 quarters of basketball.
Bro, in 1998, three players averaged above 25. This year, 12 players do. Glenn Rice in 1998, he was an all-star. He averaged 22.3. You know who averages 22.3 this year? Trey Murphy. Come on, like, what are we talking about? There's no way that you can look at 1998 basketball and look at basketball being played in 2025 and think this isn't at least as entertaining, if not more entertaining.
But Brother, it's the same thing with like 2000s though. Like go watch Kobe play basketball in 2006. Brother, he is catching the ball at the top of the key. One dribble inside of the arc. There is someone, his teammate is looking at him at the block, like, oh, you gonna give me the ball? No, he's gonna pull up and shoot it over 2 people. But the thing is, like,
long middies and
long middies, contested
players, role players taking 8 mid-range shots a game.
Like, of course, Kobe gonna shoot that bitch if Smush Parker is standing in the corner. Like, what are we talking about, bro? And they're like, oh my god, I love that ISO basketball. ISO basketball almost killed the NBA. People stopped watching basketball because Stephon Marbury was doing too much ISO with Steve Francis, and the Knicks were winning 15 games.
And maybe people's problem is that, like, the scores are too high. Like, hey, Norm Powell would have been the 4th leading scorer in 1998. It's like maybe that's people's problem with the NBA right now. But I'm sorry. I enjoy that I can watch a basketball game and not have to watch a plumber be the best player on someone else's team. Like, I enjoy that there's parity in the league. I enjoy that the talent is at an all-time high. And yes, that means whether people were taking more threes or not, the scores would be higher because the players are better. Like, that is just simply that.
But even if you just sit down and watch a bunch of different teams, everyone's not just throwing threes up for the sake of throwing threes. The Celtics, absolutely. They take about 70 threes a game. Everyone else has a different style. Like, I'm watching the Nuggets Bucks game right now. Why is this game on TV and why do people watch stuff like that? Because of the storyline. You got 2 of the best players in the league, 2 international players, 2 guys that are always in the MVP conversation. But the problem is that, like, the NBA doesn't do that all the time. The Thunder are never on TV. They have to adjust the schedule midway through the year to put the Thunder on TV. You got, oh my God, Zion versus Ja. What year are we in, bro? Why are we still marketing NBA games as the Battle of LA? Yeah. That is pre-COVID nonsense, bro. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard is not playing basketball. Paul George is not there. So now it's just James Harden and Zubac and Norman Powell versus LeBron. Oh, great. Like, great job.
Bro, and
Wemby's not on TV enough. And then you got, like, these smaller market teams. The Cavs have been the best team in the NBA the entire year.
Televised game.
And they have never, the only time they're on TV is when they're playing the Knicks and when they're playing the Celtics. If they're playing anyone else, they're on League Pass. On top of that, as 2 people that have League Pass, how hard is it to get some games on League? You got to have 5 different streaming services. That's what I'm
saying. It's like, come on, bro. And
so you telling me I got to have Max? I got to have, next year, I got to have NBC, which is Paramount. I got to have Amazon. I got to have League Pass. And I got to have some type of ESPN. That's bro, what are we doing? What are we doing?
The people that say that every team plays the same, like, I just know you
don't watch basketball.
I just know you don't. Because even if you say the Celtics shoot 73s a game, that's different than what the Nuggets do. You can't tell me the Rockets play like the Lakers. You can't. You can't tell me the Warriors play like the Timberwolves. You can't.
I know what I watch from the Heat ain't what everybody else doing, because the Heat are ass.
The Grizzlies have one of the most unique offenses we've ever seen. They play like no other team in the NBA. And, like, if you're telling me, oh yeah, they play just like the Thunder, they don't. It's like, that's not the case. That's just bullshit. And going back to the nostalgia point, bro, I think we are gonna 50 years from now, we're going to look back on this and be like, damn, basketball in the 2020s was way better than it is now, just because that's how people feel, bro. Like, even when I think about just, like, what nostalgia does, even back in 2016 when Kobe played his last game, the 60-point game, the talk after that game was it took him 50 shots to get 60 points. I will never forget that. People were going on and on about how it took him 50
let's
shots.
Let's be honest about Kobe. The love for Kobe now was not there when Kobe was playing.
Now, bro, and like, granted, maybe Kobe's a different situation because he's no longer here. But now people look back at that Kobe last game and they're like, "Yo, he had 60." Nobody gives a fuck that he took 50
Nobody
shots.
cares that he took 50 shots. Nobody but even cares. It's not even a Kobe thing. Like Kobe got maligned during his prime. Allen Iverson, bro, they were calling basketball players thugs. Because they would walk into the arena with do-rags on and chains on. And this was before Malice in the Palace. Like, this was 2000, 2001. Just because guys are wearing baggy jeans and listening to rap music on their Walkmans, that they were thug. Like, that's crazy to me. And then the Malice in the Palace happens, like, oh, brother, we got too many black people. Like, come on, man. And I think it's a better like anytime it's just the culture of the NBA is so far gone. Like it goes from like the trolling culture to all these parody account leagues that just don't take, and I think it's created fans that just don't take the game seriously. Like everything's a joke, everything's a meme, everything's a parody of something. And there's not a lot of people out there anymore that really appreciate the game of basketball.
I think people just like to have an opinion, and the people that want to have that opinion are usually casuals. And what do they watch? They're not watching League Pass. They're watching NBA on TNT. They're watching Inside the NBA. They're listening to Shaq and Chuck and Kenny and Ernie say that the game sucks. So of course that's the opinion that they're gonna fucking regurgitate. But I think it's 1,000% all nostalgia. And the last example I have is like, you looking back at the 2015 finals where Iggy won Finals MVP, and I remember people saying Steph was getting destroyed for that series. He was getting destroyed for that series. And now people look back at it and they're like, oh my God, Steph should have won MVP. And it's like, yeah, he probably fucking should have. He averaged 26, 5, and 6 on 44, 38, 89 splits.
He had one bad game. And the media was like, "Oh my God, Matthew Dellavedova is locking him up." Oh my God,
Iggy got it for that MVP. LeBron stopper
because LeBron was shooting 30% from the field. That's exactly why
LeBron was averaging 36, 13, and 9 on 40, 31, 68 splits. Like,
okay, I knew his shooting percentage
from 3, but then he was putting up 36, 13, and 9, and he got MVP for being the LeBron stopper. Come on. Like,
yeah, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's a mix of nostalgia and it's a mix of media guys just shitting on the product when in reality the NBA is the only sport that does that. The guys on TV, like if you turn on ESPN, NFL, anything, they are not talking. The only time they criticize guys is like when Anthony Richardson called himself off the field, when Aaron Rodgers doing weird shit, when guys are just not playing football. If you're nice at football, you're getting praised. If you're nice at baseball, I've never heard Barry Bonds come out and say, "Yeah, that Aaron Judge brother, he's trash." Because it doesn't matter. Just appreciate what you're watching and embrace the new generation. Like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez don't look at the current Yankees and be like, "Yeah, y'all just nothing like us. Y'all just don't have what it takes." Like, yeah, they're not y'all. Congratulations. Everybody can't be Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. Thank you.
The just the content that other sports spaces, specifically the NFL, produce are so much. Like you look at they have Dan Orlovsky in a VR headset going through play-by-play progressions for quarterbacks on TV, like, oh, he's running an in-breaking route. If the middle linebacker comes in to rush, then he's like going through progressions, going through situations, trying to break down the game for casual fans. When you look at NBA, the closest thing we got to that on national TV is like Kenny Smith running to the board to break down a pick and roll. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, okay, great.
Like, and then like the last thing is damn, I forgot what I was about to say. Tough, because there's just so much wrong. There's just so I forgot about to say because I had a million points, but I mean, it's just the NBA just doesn't. They don't ever since Adam Silver has been in the middle of his tenure as the commissioner. They don't market the NBA well. They're still hanging on to LeBron and Steph and KD, and like they're finally embracing Wemby because you can't ignore something like that. But how long did it take them to be like, oh my God, look at Jokic. Oh my God, look at Giannis. Like, oh my goodness, look at Christian Braun. My God. Anyway, he just banged it on Brook Lopez. But it shouldn't take you that long. Like in the NFL, when guys come in, they know who their stars are. When Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson came in the league, they were like, oh, those are the next stars. When Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes came in and Lamar Jackson came in, they were like, all right, boom, boom, boom. Now they're Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, like the younger every year. They just know how to keep even casual fans involved. You have NFL Red Zone where you could just sit down and watch people score touchdowns all day.
That's all I watch. I'm not watching full games from
I mean, yeah, I don't have the money to pay for Sunday
I'm
tickets.
not paying
So
Sunday tickets. Yeah, you tripping. But yeah, bro, that's our conversation on the NBA media. Hopefully, get us on TV and give me.
The best NBA media coverage is on YouTube, bro. Like it ain't even on TV.
Absolutely.
It's every basketball YouTuber that makes videos about the same thing that we're talking about right now. That's what you're gonna find the best content.